In this episode, I give you my thoughts on WWE Bad Blood. I give you my take on some of the top storylines coming out of NFL Week 5 and my 5 top trade destinations for Davante Adams. Episode 53 of Unwin from the End Zone starts now.
You're watching the latest episode of Unwin from the End Zone. Please click on that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops. Now, let's kick it.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Unwin from the End Zone. If this is your first time watching, don't go anywhere. We're about to break down some sports. Now, before we get into it, I wanted to take a brief moment to thank all of my subscribers for being a part of the channel. As we continue to grow, we have now surpassed over 6,800 subs. I appreciate all the love and support, and I genuinely hope you are enjoying this content. Don't forget to leave a comment on the video, as I want to know if you agree or disagree with my takes. And I want some ideas of what I should discuss here in the End Zone. Now, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about WWE Bad Blood 2024. This is the first Bad Blood event in the last 20 years, and in my opinion, I thought it was a total success. This has been a tremendous year for WWE. Triple H came out, made an announcement where the world champion and the WWE world champion are both going to face each other at the WWE Crown Jewel event in Saudi Arabia for the WWE Crown Jewel Championship. I think that's going to be a great match. It's going to be one of those all out. Granted, we know it's sports entertainment, so we know the outcome is going to be predetermined. But with that being said, it is great that yearly they're going to have a match between the two world champions to see who the world champion of the company really is. I think it's going to be Cody who goes over Gunther, but realistically, I think it would do more for Gunther if she beats Cody at Crown Jewel for that championship. It just elevates his stature and his reign a little bit more, especially because we know that realistically Cody Rhodes is the face of the company. But we'll see what happens. The match of the night for WWE Bad Blood, in my opinion, was the CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. The story behind these two men has been incredible. I loved all the antics, all the physicality that they had. They really legitimately went out and left it all in the ring, ladies and gentlemen. I recommend you guys go back and check that match out. The second match of the night for me was Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. I loved the physicality. I loved how they pulled out all the stops. Cody's just on another level. Jacob is on another level. Just the overall storytelling inside of this match was incredible. We got to see the new bloodline come out and try to help, and then we got to see the return of Jimmy Uso. The reason why I think this was the segment of the night, in my personal opinion, was because at the end of everything, at the end of the match, yeah, we got Jimmy's return, and we also got to see The Rock. The Rock's only back because we know Moana's coming out in a month, and he's realistically just coming back to promote that. But he did signal to Jimmy, Roman, and Cody, the three, and then he went like this. So is he going to be a part of the new bloodline, be there kind of head of the table because of the fact that Roman has been away for so long and now he's aligned with Cody, and we know The Rock might want to become a world champion again. Just for story purposes, we're about 6 months away from WrestleMania, so I think right now the only reason why he's back and we're not going to see him again, or we might see him one more time here before I think November 25th or November 5th. Whenever Moana comes out, because I know Moana 2 is coming out next month, and that's realistically why he's back. He's back to promote his new movie, which is always a genius move by The Rock. I'm not bagging on it. If you're a part of the board of directors and you have that power, fucking use it. Promote your movie. Do what you got to do business-wise. That is a smart business move, and there's a reason why he's back, and that's the real reason why he's back. But for story purposes, I'm just curious to see where it goes, because he didn't seem too pleased with the new alliance of Roman and Cody. The third match of the night for me was the Women's World Championship match between Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, where Dirty Dom was suspended above the ring in the cage, and then he was used like a piñata. Guys, Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, they're just on another level. Like, when it comes to just in-ring ability and the fact that they're fucking hot and sexy, like, damn, that just elevates it, because, bro, they can kick your ass and look good while they do it. Like, Rhea knows what she be doing with them pins, too. Like, she knows what she fucking be doing. And then the return of Raquel Rodriguez, I think that's good storytelling. Overall, good storytelling now. because Raquel Rodriguez has been gone for so long now that she's going to be the new member of the Judgment Day. Because again, if you watch the press conference, one of those things that Damian Priest said when he was a part of the Judgment Day was for originally people that they thought could be main eventers, but they weren't getting that push necessarily. Priest, Ripley, they don't need that anymore. They're both former world champions. They got the elevation that they needed. Now they're going to be moving on to bigger and better things, in my opinion. They're going to be their poster childs of the company. So they're going to be fine with or without the Judgment Day. I think the Judgment Day helps solidify their careers, and it has given them the platform to do amazing and great things moving forward. Raquel Rodriguez, Carlito, JD McDonough, those guys that haven't been really getting pushes, they're going to be elevated being a part of the Judgment Day. JD McDonough, I think, is a tremendous talent. His in-ring ability is incredible. If you watch his matches, I love JD McDonough matches. He's got the potential to do great things. And we know Dirty Dom is the future of this company. He's got at least another, maybe 8 more years left, 5 more years. He did say that he didn't want to do this like his dad did for 20 years. So I think we've got another 5 to 8 more years solid at his Dirty Dom, and hopefully we get a title reign from him. Maybe they give Finn Balor another opportunity since he's kind of like the new figurehead of the Judgment Day. But I think the overall storyline of the Judgment Day, it's still got there's still a lot of meat on that bone, just like there's a lot of meat on that bone for the Bloodline. And I just think overall it was a great pay-per-view, great PLE. I know they don't call it pay-per-views anymore. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, those were my thoughts on WWE Bloodline 2024. Yeah, we got to see Goldberg return, and then stay tuned for Monday Night Raw when we get to see Sami Zayn face Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. That should be another banger. Those two gentlemen always go at it in an incredible fashion. So we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
Guys, have you heard? Shady Mob Productions is an official affiliate of HBO Max. Click on the link in the description and sign up so you can watch hit series like Hard Knocks, Game of Thrones, and House of Dragons. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so the 5th week of the NFL season is nearly complete. And right now, we're going to go over some of the games that stood out to me this weekend. Let's start off with my beloved 49ers, because you know I'm a Niner fan. You see, that's my guy, my team for life. We ride, we die, we 49er faithful over here. We lost our kicker. Jake Moody went down with an injury because he attempted a tackle and he sprained his ankle. We didn't have any confidence in Mitch Wishnowsky or Kyle Juszczyk, for that matter, to kick us a field goal later in the game. Well, when we had the opportunity to go for like a 30 or 40-yard field goal, they decided to go for it on 4th down. And then Jordan Mason fumbled the ball. Realistically, I can see Kyle, because Jordan Mason fumbled the ball in a crucial moment of the game, because it was like the last 3 minutes of the game. I could see them putting Guarendo in a little bit more. We got to see Guarendo a little bit more in this game as well. So our rookies are definitely getting a lot of playing time. We're relying on Malik Mustafa, Gerardo Green. We're probably going to be seeing a lot more of Isaac Guarendo now that Jordan Mason fumbled the ball, and CMC is probably not going to be back for another month. Dominic Tooney's playing a big part in that offensive line. I still contest that Dominic Tooney needs to be moved at right tackle because McKivitz, too many pressures coming from McKivitz's side. Yes, I understand that last sack where Brock's elbow got hit and he threw that interception, that wasn't necessarily on him because he picked up his guy and Jordan Mason was supposed to pick up the blitzer. But just too many mistakes be happening on the right side of the offensive line where McKivitz is supposed to be covering. Dominic Tooney, in my opinion, he's been the standout right guard. I think he has the size to play right tackle, and I think we need to move him into that position because it's night and day, I feel like, between McKivitz and Tooney. But that being said, special teams, man. Special teams will win you a championship, will win championships for a team. look at the Chiefs. They got Harrison Buckner, who's probably going to be in the Hall of Fame. The Ravens, okay, they got Justin Tucker, who's probably going to be a Hall of Fame kicker. The Patriots, Adam Vinatieri, Sebastian Gostkowski, Peyton Manning when he won his Super Bowls, Adam Vinatieri. Special teams wins you games. And in my opinion, I've always felt like Jake Moody, when the going gets tough and the pressure is on him to deliver a field goal in a game-winning situation, he cracks under the pressure. It's a big deal when in the grand scheme of things, yes, because we want to win games, we want to win championships. It's a very big deal, but it's not to say he's a bad human being. It's not to say he's a horrible, shitty person. I just believe that we should have kept the door open for a new kicker before this season started. I thought we should have looked into a kicker during the offseason. Now that Jake Moody is injured, I think we're going to go and we're going to find a Hall of Fame kicker to pair up with the 49ers, because I just don't believe Jake Moody is that guy. I wish him nothing but a speedy recovery. I don't wish an injury upon anybody, but realistically, this could be a blessing in disguise for the 49ers, because now they get to have the opportunity to go find a kicker that can actually deliver in crucial game-winning situations like Jake Moody hasn't been able to do so for the 49ers. The issues that he had last year during the regular season, we saw it against the Cleveland Browns. I think we saw it against the Vikings. Couldn't deliver game-winning kick. This year, we had another game-winning opportunity where he couldn't deliver for us. And now that Jake Moody is injured, I think it might be a blessing in disguise for the 49ers, because special teams has been horrendous this year. But this could be a sign of good things to come in the future. But hey, we're going through the season to hell. Hoof can't stay healthy. We're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. Brock is balling out of his mind. He's using his legs a lot more. I like what I'm seeing from Brock. He's making the most out of what he has out there, and he has a lot of weapons. PA is finally back into form. Tebow and Juwan didn't have necessarily stellar games, but they were definitely being targeted. Brock is just, in my opinion, he's analyzing and processing the game at a much faster rate, and I think he's genuinely better than he was last year, and we're seeing that translate on the field. Now, it's not translating into wins at the moment because we're experiencing defensive transition from a new to a new coordinator, which I still think we should be a lot better, frankly. But it's okay. We're mitigating injuries. Right now is not when we need to play our best football. All we need to do is make the dance. We just need to make the playoffs, and in the playoffs, I know the Niners are going to step it up. Right now, we're a game out of first place for the NFC West. Seahawks lost. We're 2-3. They're 3-2 now. They're the number one team in the NFC West. We can still win the division. We're 0-2 in the division. All we got to do is sweep the next 4 games in the division, and we can potentially win that as well. So I'm not panicking. I'm not tripping. I trust Kyle's system. I trust Brock Purdy, and I just trust the 49ers in general are going to be better. They should have won that game. But our kicker, who I believe we should have been having that door open all offseason, is now out. We'll probably, I believe we're going to find a Hall of Fame kicker that's going to be with the 49ers for the long-term future, in my personal opinion. The Bills faced off against the Texans today, and the Texans dominated the first half. They were whooping the Buffalo Bills' ass up and down the fucking field. Halftime happened, and basically the Texans were shut out. The Texans were basically shut out until the very last game-winning field goal where Fairbairn kicked it right through the uprights. And, the Texans imploded that second half and should have lost that game. If the game was heading if the Bills defense was playing the way that they were playing, how do you go 3 straight passing attempts at the 5 with 30 seconds left? Why don't you run the ball once? I know Josh Allen can check into a running play. I know Josh Allen can run the ball. Where is your situational game management cap on at that point, because they should have won the game in my opinion. Texans imploded, but the Bills after doing such an amazing job after being blown out 20-3 to come back to tie it at 20 apiece, for them to then implode in the last 30 seconds where all you need to do is run the ball 3 times and get them to waste all their touchdowns and get into fucking OT. You do that? You threw the ball 3 times and Josh Allen doesn't have the wherewithal to check into a running play or try to run out of the pocket to gain a couple yards or something. You were at the 5. You weren't even at the fucking 2. What type of situational thinking? Joe Brady, that goes on Joe Brady, because I know that wasn't on Sean McDermott. I saw how pissed Sean McDermott was when they were throwing the ball and when they kept on calling the ball. Like that, I personally believe that's on Joe Brady and Josh Allen. That shouldn't be on Sean McDermott. The defense did their job in the second half. They held their end of the bargain, and literally the Texans imploded. The offense for the Bills in the second half was rolling up until the end of the game when they went for, what? It's neither here nor there. Kudos to the Texans. Texans are legitimately one of the best teams in the NFL this year. I think they're straight up AFC contenders. They're going to, in my opinion, I see it being the Chiefs versus the Texans for the AFC Championship game. I definitely see them winning a playoff game this year and taking a step forward with C.J. Stroud. I think C.J. Stroud is definitely special. But I also think the Buffalo Bills squandered that opportunity tremendously. You got blown out last week against the Ravens. This week you got blown out in the first half, but then you come back and then you squander a great opportunity at the end of the game. I still think Josh Allen is playing MVP football, but right now it definitely looks like it's Josh Allen and a gang of misfits out there. There needs to be some sort of improvement, at least in situations like that. I just can't believe that the Bills blew that game like that, ladies and gentlemen, to be completely honest with you.
If you're in the San Francisco Bay Area and want the best cut of your life, go check out Headspins Barbershop, located in South San Francisco, the official barbershop of N1 from the End Zone.
Guys, join me, Alex the Man Angelov, and check out A&A Radio, where we're going to be talking about the latest and greatest financial news, investments, banking, and personal finance. Check out the channel and don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
Another game that stood out to me was the Baltimore Ravens versus the Cincinnati Bengals, in a game that I genuinely believe was a must-win for the Cincinnati Bengals, especially if it pertains to their divisional hopes, so their playoff hopes in general. Joe Burrow said it himself. The Cincinnati Bengals are not a championship football team right now at this point of the season. Somebody on the defensive side of the ball needs to be let go of. I think Lou Anarumo is his name. That's their defensive coordinator. Something needs to give where they need to part ways with this dude, because, bro, too many 30-point games are just games where it just feels like they're being blown out and they can't stop anybody. The Chiefs, I understand Patrick Mahomes on the other side of the ball, but Joe Burrow got a winning record against Patty Mahomes. Yeah, the Chiefs are championship contenders, championship winners. They're champions. They're on a class of their own. But the Bengals, they had, granted, a call went in favor of the Chiefs, which basically cost the Bengals that game. Then they lose to a rookie quarterback, Jaden Daniels, where they basically just go into another shootout. They allow him to put up 38 points. And yes, Jaden Daniels, in my opinion, is special. Jaden Daniels, in my opinion, is going to be a much better quarterback than the reigning MVP Lamar Jackson, because of the fact that I think he has better arm talent, the fact that he is a mobile quarterback with better arm talent who can throw those dimes, who's actually very accurate. And that's why the Commanders and Jaden Daniels, I have a special place in my heart for them. But, this game, you did everything. Joe Burrow did everything he needed to do to put them in a fucking position to win. And McPherson, who I like as a kicker, I would give anything to have McPherson as my kicker for the 49ers, fucking misses a field goal. And then on top of that, their defense can't stop anything, and then they drive fucking back down the field score a fucking allow Derrick Henry to run basically damn near 80 yards to put them in field goal range and win the game in OT. Like, yo, like what? It's not the offense because Joe Burrow, the talent that he has around him, even though I don't think they have a run game, they've still been able to put up points. But their defense is lackluster, and now their special teams costing them games. And I hate to say it because I think I thought Joe Burrow was a top 5 quarterback. I still think he's in the top 5 quarterback who's elite, but it's so sad that he just needs to put on more pressure on himself. Zach Taylor might need to go at the end of the season. They might need to bring in Bill Belichick, to be honest with you. Like, if Joe Burrow is going to be compared to Tom, bring in Bill, because Zach Taylor is clearly not cutting it. Yeah, he did an excellent job last year with Jake Browning as his QB and got him, I think, close to making the playoffs. But now they're 1-4, and the games that they should have beat the Patriots, they should have beaten the Commanders. They should be 3-2. If you're going to lose to the Chiefs, the Ravens, acceptable losses. But the Patriots, the first week, come on. The Panthers, you should have won that game, and you did win that game handily. But the Commanders, a rookie quarterback, especially with the defense where you don't necessarily know how cohesive they're going to be, and Joe Burrow did his job. But your defense is so bad that it's going to cost you in the long run. That's another reason why for me this game, I'm just surprised that the Bengals dropped the ball, especially because they had it in their hands and they looked like they were going to win that game. Shout out to Lamar Jackson, who played a tremendous game, got the victory for the Baltimore Ravens. They're figuring out what they have to do, and that's just give the ball to fucking Derrick Henry and let him pound that rock, and then that opens everything up for the Ravens. But with that being said, those are the 3 NFL games that stood out to me this week. The Niners, my Niners, my first love, losing to the Cardinals. I'm not tripping. I'm just worried about the injuries. And I'm genuinely, I don't ever wish ill will towards anybody. But I'm excited at the opportunity that we get to look at other kickers who might be better in game-winning clutch time situations, something that I don't think Jake Moody was ever good at. The Ravens, they're on a roll. They're going to be competing with the Steelers for the divisional crown. The Browns and the Bengals, trash. Browns need to figure out that offensive line because Deshaun Watson, dude, every time he snaps the ball, they're already in the backfield. Like that offensive line is dealing with so many injuries that it's really taking a toll on Deshaun Watson. I don't think they need to go to his backup in Marcus Mariota. I don't think that's going to resolve anything. I think they need to trade for a tackle, a guard, somebody to help shore up that offensive line, because that offensive line for the Browns is horrendous. And then Bills and Texans imploding in the same game. The only difference is the Texans imploded the entire second half, but were able to hold on and do what they needed to do at the very end of the game to win. The Bills, they dominated the second half after being horrible in the first half, and then imploded at the most crucial moment of the game when they needed to keep it all together to win that game.
Guys, you're watching a Shady Mob production. Make sure to follow the Shady Mob podcast, where we break down all the latest content and talk about life. Please make sure to share, like, comment, and subscribe so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so 5 teams that I believe that should trade for Davante Adams. But before we get into it, I'll be straight up. I don't see him going to the Chiefs at all, mainly because they're an in-division rival, and the Chiefs are reigning, defending Super Bowl champions, and I don't think the Raiders are going to want to do the Chiefs any favors by trading them Davante Adams, unless it's something absurd, like 2 first-round picks or a first-round pick and a second-round pick or something like that. They're an in-division rival, and they're not going to help them be even better by adding Davante Adams. Now, with that being said, the first team that I believe should trade for him, and probably will, is a team that he's been linked to since the offseason, and that's the New York Jets. The reason why is because Aaron Rodgers just had one of the worst games of his career, not scoring a touchdown at all. And Honestly, adding Davante Adams next to Garrett Wilson and Mike Williams, who's been lackluster, is going to help bolster that offense. I think they should package a deal where they give a second and Braylon Allen to the Raiders, because that's going to help bolster the Raiders' run game tremendously, I believe. And honestly, the Raiders are still in playoff contention. Yeah, they're probably not going to make the playoffs, but Gardner Minshew, they're 2-2 with Gardner Minshew and with Antonio Pierce as the head coach. So they're staying afloat. They're winning. They're managing to win games. And this past week, when they were able to beat the Cleveland Browns without Davante, that signaled great things for the Raiders, and that's why they were comfortable exploring trade options where Davante Adams is potentially moved. Now, the New York Jets make sense because having Aaron Rodgers and Davante's chemistry goes a long way. So I wouldn't be surprised if they package like a second, a fourth, or a third, and maybe Braylon Allen, or a second and Braylon Allen to the Raiders for Davante, just because that system is familiar for Davante, the chemistry that they have. And frankly, the Jets, they're all in. Jobs are on the line this year, and if they don't make the playoffs or make some sort of noise, it could go downhill really quickly for Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas. So they need to do whatever it takes to at least make the playoffs and win one playoff game. The second team I believe should trade for him is the New Orleans Saints. I know they got Chris Olave. I know they got a pretty nice wide receiving room over in New Orleans. But remember, the reason why Davante went to the Raiders was because he wanted to play alongside his college quarterback from Fresno State, which was Derek Carr. That relationship is still there, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Saints trade away a second-round pick, especially with how they started. The offense has been a little bit lackluster the last couple of weeks. Last week, granted, they did put up 24 points, but maybe the pairing would work a lot better in New Orleans with a better offensive coordinator. Moving Davante down to New Orleans, down with Derek Carr, makes a lot of sense in my opinion. That's the second team that I think should consider trading for Davante. It would definitely boost that offense even more than what it's been, and especially after the last couple of weeks so that they've been lackluster, they could definitely use him. Number 3, the Pittsburgh Steelers, ladies and gentlemen. The reason why is because the Pittsburgh Steelers were linked with the move for Brandon Ayuk this offseason, and frankly, they're still looking for a wide receiver. They've been engaging the market this entire season. They want another weapon to pair up with George Pickens, because it's literally George Pickens, Najee Harris, and I think Jalen Warren that are their offensive weapons, and thanks to the legs of Justin Fields. Now, imagine if Davante Adams is added to that mix. That'll help boost the Pittsburgh Steelers, who I believe are 3-1 right now, and could potentially win the division and keep that trajectory going if they add Davante Adams. So Davante Adams to the Pittsburgh Steelers is definitely on the table, especially for a second-round pick. They need to win. They need to make the playoffs. They need to be more than just a 9-8 team, and I think getting Davante Adams would help solidify them in the long run. Number 4, I believe, should be the Dallas Cowboys, just because they are relying on Dak Prescott and his arm, and they need to get him some sort of additional weapon since they don't have a run game and they only have CD out there. I don't know if the salary cap would allow it this year or if it's even possible. But the Dallas Cowboys with Davante Adams on that roster, CeeDee Lamb, and Dak Prescott, that would go a long way for them and give them just another option at the wide receiving position, another weapon that they desperately need, especially because they're going to be in shootouts. If they want to win games, they're going to have to be in shootouts, and I just don't think they have enough guns to be in the shootout in the long run, to be completely honest with you, especially if they can't stop the run. So if they face a team that has a quarterback that can throw the ball, a team that also has a run game, Cowboys are screwed, and they need to be able to put up points. And with Davante Adams, they'll be able to do it. Last but not least, I think they should consider moving him to the Washington Commanders. Jaden Daniels is looking like he is going to be special in this league. He has mobility. He has better arm talent than Lamar Jackson, in my opinion. And putting another offensive weapon like Davante Adams in Washington with Jaden, especially now that he is getting into a rhythm, being as accurate as he is, being able to throw the ball down the field, I think the Washington Commanders should definitely consider trading for Davante Adams, especially right now that they are leading their division in the NFC East. And that might just solidify them actually winning the division, adding that offensive weapon in the long run. So those are the 5 teams that I believe should consider him. Number 1, the Jets. Number 2, the Saints. Number 3, the Steelers. Number 4, the Cowboys. And then number 5, the Washington Commanders. Ladies and gentlemen, please subscribe, like, and comment on the video. Share this with your friends, families, and partners. Make some money with my picks, listen to my sports takes, or just watch for some positivity. Always remember, desire is power, and if you desire to be great, you have the power to be great. Thank you for watching another episode of Unwin from the End Zone. I love and appreciate you guys. Stay tuned for more.